Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So today I want to touch on a couple of things. Joe Biden came out last week and said that when he did an interview, was asked about the inflation and the economy and his 30%, how groceries prices went up 30%. He basically said, stop complaining because you got the money to spend. I want to know, Joe Biden, how do you know we got the money to spend? Because I know a lot of people who don't have the money to spend. Now, even if we have the money to spend, it's kind of like you have a family member who say, hey, man, let me hold a few dollars, man. I know you got it. And you're like, how the hell you know I got it? Okay, because what? I make a certain amount of money, you spend a certain amount of money, and you need some money. Now, if you just need to borrow some money, you want me to give you some money, I mean, just come out, just say it like that. Don't sit there and try to make me feel guilty by saying, or feel a certain type of way by saying, man, you got it, it ain't gonna hurt you. Cause now I go from maybe I'll let you hold some money to, hell no, I'm not giving you a dime because you don't know my money. So don't be counting my pockets. I don't like that. So Joe Biden saying this sounds like the same thing. Like, dude, you got the money. Matter of fact, let's get into it. Let's say it's from the dailymail.co. And that's where I try to go to for most of my stories. It said Biden is blasted as clueless and out of touch for claiming Americans have the money to spend when told grocery prices are up 30% in rare sit-down interview. Amazing. Let's scroll down here. It said polls show voters are nervous and critical of Biden's handling of the economy, and anchor Aaron Burnett reminded him that grocery prices are up 30%. But Biden, in his interview with CNN, claimed the polls are wrong and Americans struggling with inflation, have more cash in their pockets, saying they have the money to spend. Now, funny thing is, how did he know these polls are wrong? You do all these polls that they come out. So why do they take them? Because really, personally, to be honest, I be want to know who are these people that they interview. Who do they be polling? Where do they find these people? I remember when I was younger and walking through the mall and somebody said, hey, you want to do a quick little survey, make like $5-10, come back here and answer some questions. Sure. Go back there, watch like a little preview of a couple of movies, and you give, you bubble in the questionnaire, bubble in the answers, and then you turn in. And I guess they use that for when they do commercials and they'll say, critics said, blah, blah, blah. Critics feel like this, critics rave that this is a great movie, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying 2 thumbs up. That's where they get it from. And they don't sit there, critics ain't watching the whole movie. It'd be casually just find them all. But anyway, so like I say, are they polling people like that? Because I don't ever see anybody come, but I'm not in the mall that much. I'm not, I might go to H-E-B every now and then, but I'm not out, just walking the streets looking for people to ask me questions. So I want to know where they get who are they polling? So basically what you're saying is the American people either polls are wrong or the American people are lying. Or the polls are misunderstood or not actually reading what's really going on. Because my thing is, he's talking about that we got the money to spend, but people want to spend their money on what they want to spend on. Now, yeah, we got bills. We got, we need to just have money to the side for a rainy day fund. Something break down, tear up. Got to be able to fix it. Got to be able to replace it. People get sick. You got to be able to take care of your family, yourself. You want to be able to eat, healthy food. Not a ramen noodle is going to kill you in 10 years. You got to be able to do things to be able to live like a human. People will try to say, no, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve that. Yes, you do. There are things you do deserve. You are a human being, God-given ability to work. The scriptures tell you if you don't work, the man that don't work, the man that don't eat. So, okay, so you're going to work and understand it, but nowhere does it say you're supposed to struggle and live like a freaking hobbit or a hermit or, being piss poor to live. That's no way to live. Come on, let's keep it 100. So for this, like I said, for this man to say they got the money, no, they don't have the money because most people don't make money like that. As a matter of fact, if you want to go want to look at these stats right quick that I looked up. This is from Zippia.com, and it tells you average American income. This is 25 U.S. salary statistics from last year. I'd rather find something from this year, but sometimes that's kind of hard to find. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find because there's not really a lot of statistics like going on at the time. But anyway, this is like a research summary. It says the average personal income in the U.S. is $63,214. Now you might think, man, that's what the average person is making. That is amazing. But what the average is, I want you to understand, average is the mean. And the mean is taking everybody's salary from poorest, which means you're working, not the people that are not working, but from poorest, from the people making the least amount of money, which is probably waiters and waitresses. Think about this. Waiters and waitresses make what, $2-3 an hour? Now, and this is not including tips, I guess, but I guess it's what you claim an income. But think about it, make $2 to $3 an hour. Up to somebody who might be making tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour. You know, ain't a whole lot of people on that side of the spectrum, but the people who are more closely aligned. Texas, let's say Texas minimum wage is $7 and what, 50 cents? Is it $7.50, I believe, right now? Come on now. Think about it. Minimum wage, $7.50. More people are probably making money closer to that. And we're talking about teenagers, grown folks, everything. Making more money in that range, anywhere from, let's say, the $2 range up until the $10 to $15 range. Let's just be honest. So anyway, you take everybody's salary, add them up, divided by the number of people that's working, and you come up with 63,200. So you see what I'm saying? So it's not what the average person is making. It said the median income in the U.S. is 44,225, which means you take all those salaries, you don't add them up and divide it by the number of people that's working. You take all of those salaries and you get right in the middle. And that's the median. So right in the middle, America is split at $44,225. So what does that tell you? See what I'm saying? And if they say that to be able to afford an apartment, a person has to make at least $17 an hour, and that's like a 1-bedroom apartment. So hold on, let me look. Let's see, $17 an hour. Let's just do it like this. 17. Let's say you're working full time times 40 equals 680 times 52 weeks. That's $35,000 to be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment by yourself. You need to make about $36,000. And let's see, let's minus, I'm gonna say 25% equals, because we're gonna take away taxes. Okay. So basically around about 25% tax is what you're paying, income tax. So basically your bring home pay is $26,520. Okay. And yeah, it's $26,520. And then let's say you divide that by 12, that's $2,000. So basically it's saying if you got to be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment by yourself, you got to bring home about anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500 a month. Bring home 1-bedroom by yourself. Okay. And they're saying the median income is, and they're saying the majority of Americans cannot afford that, which means most of us are probably out here with 2 jobs, or struggling like a son gun, or living with somebody to save money. The average American annual real wage is $67,521. Now, what is real wage? Let me see, because I saw that down here. No, understand, my people, Black Americans, we only make $41,000. We average $41,500 a year. We're the lowest. We're the lowest wage earners in this country, below American Indians, below Hispanic. Hispanics make more money than us. Amazing. And we all talking about, and this is what make it make sense, right? So maybe I'm talking about the wrong people. Because there's always this thing that people say, well, the Mexicans Latinos, Hispanics, whatever you want to call them. They do the jobs that black people don't want to do, or even do the jobs that white people don't want to do. But somehow, because and for some reason, we're saying, I guess, that because they ain't paying us nothing, they'll work for less. But somehow they're making more money than us. How in the heck is that possible? I need to deep dive more into where they get these wages from, because Hispanic and Latino people making more money than black folk. Everybody has surpassed us. Everybody. It says, let's see, median income by age. And also remember that people make most of their money between the age, in their 40s and 50s. These are statistics. So everybody looking for a high value man, a high quality man, whatever. Think you're going to get him in his 20s and 30s? Nope. Not unless he's a rapper or entertainer. And rapper and entertainer and an athlete. Other than that, brother just going to be trying to just working to try to build his money up. So get there on the ground level, so that way once this man making his money, y'all can appreciate it more, because y'all grew and built something together. What did it say? Could it say those between the ages of 15 and 24 earn the lowest income, the median by 43,531. People make a lot of money. That is a lot. I mean, it should be a lot of money. Men who work for the federal government has the highest median income of any sector of 68,464. I should have stayed with the federal government. But no, I'm making more money than that, just playing. Women who work for the private sector have the lowest median income of 30,000. Okay, well, I was trying to get to real wage. When adjusted for inflation, the number of goods and services that can actually be bought, we're getting the individual's real wage. Okay, so real wage is money that's adjusted for inflation. From 1964 to 2018, the average Americans, and this is from Zippia.com, ZIPPIA.com. From 1964 to 2018, the average American's real wage has only increased by $2.38. As of 2020, the average American real wage is $67,521. Again, let's see, poverty in America, 11.4% of Americans live below the poverty line. There are roughly 37.2 million Americans living in poverty. The poverty rate for households in the U.S. is 4.7%. Let's say, but the rate has steadily dropped from 2010 to 2019. This is before the pandemic, so these are kind of, I would need to see some more up-to-date stats. The poverty rate steadily dropped from 15.1% to 10.5%. It's say 52% of Americans considered the middle class, and that's because you're making between 42,000 and 126. That's why I don't like a lot of these stats or these these polls. Not really stats, but how they break them, divide them. Because 42,000 and 126,000. Let me tell you something. Let me compare myself with somebody who makes $42,000. Because I'm closer. I'll say that what I make is closer to the 126. I'm closer to that than I am to $42,000. And let's look at lifestyles and look at look at daily living and working and work conditions, and explain to me how we're all the same. Because when I think of middle class as somebody who's making maybe, close to each other, making money like close to each other, like comparably, and living probably the same lifestyle. Because anybody making $42,000, I just told you, for one bedroom, you got to bring in, what was it, 35,000. So you telling me you making $35,000 or $42,000, you can barely afford a 2-bedroom apartment, barely. I can pretty much do that with ease. So we're not in the same class. I'm not saying you're worse than me or I'm better than you. I'm just saying monetarily we're not the same. So I don't like the way now that's skewed. So the top 10% earn 32% of the total income in the U.S. And that's the thing you got to understand. So when Joe Biden say we got the money, the top 10% earn 30%, damn near 1/3 of all the income. And everybody else make the rest. So if you take out the top 10%, now tell me who has all the money. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden. Because I was kind of wondering, I was starting to think, being a devil's advocate and try to, we try to ask questions and try to come up with solutions and answers and try to get a better understanding of how the world works. Because I was trying to think, are we living a little too comfortable for our own good? Now, we see that houses, people, time housing market, everybody should have a house. So everybody got delusion of grandeur. I believe we should. Should it be a big house? Does it have to be, a mansion, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom? No. Think about how your parents, grandparents, and hell, if you saw your great grandparents, think about how they live. Just think back. Hey, you can probably think how you living now. Depends on where you live. I remember growing up, going to, let's just say, start out with my house. Living mother and father, middle class. Dad worked for the city. Mom was a nurse. Made decent money. Just me and my sister. Made decent money. I remember when I was younger, I think we started out in G.R.O.W.T.H. And those from PG, Texas know what that is. G.R.O.W.T.H. Ain't too much change since I was a kid. Started out in that area, in the duplex in that area. Then I think mid 80s, no, early 80s, early to mid 80s. Parents bought a house in East Pleasant Grove. No, middle class house. What we used to call old money was over there because it was like some white people over there. Black people too, but no white people. Then things changed, got more black, got more Hispanic, more white. You know how, white flight, whatever the case. But parents still made a decent amount of money. Ended up, time goes on, bought a 2-story house. Parents had a 2-story house. Time goes on, they moved out, got a house, nice little flat, somewhat country that's being built up now, sitting on an acre and a half, or maybe 2 acres, I don't know. And they've been there for a while. So that's my family story. My parents' story. Now, I remember growing up, going to my grandparents' house, let's say like on my mom's side, what they have, 12 or 13 kids. I think 4 of them died at a young age, but because you got to think about farming and DDT and all these chemicals and people, all kind of crap going on in Arkansas. But house had 1, 2, 3 house. I think my grandfather built that house. Retired military. But you're talking about 14 kids. 13, no, I was just making up kids. 12, 13 children living in a house with basically 2 bedrooms. Basically 2 bedrooms, right? Okay. But by the time the grandkids come around, we go visit. Everybody be there, kids sleep on the couch, sleep on the floor, in people's rooms, space heaters, all this kind of stuff. No problem, right? Didn't think nothing of it. On my dad's side, grandmother had my great grandfather built the house that my dad and his siblings grew up in, my grandmother grew up in. I remember seeing my great grandfather when he lived for, I remember seeing him when I was a little baby, when I was young. Like before I probably started grade school, before he passed. But my grandmother, she lived to be 94. But anyway, I think my dad and them, they had like 8 siblings, 8 kids. And they lived in a house with 3 beds for the kids. And I think the oldest daughter, my oldest aunt, she had her own room, but all the other kids lived in one room with 2 beds in it. But you look at that, like I said, all the grandkids come over, what we do? Sleep in the beds together, you know what I'm saying? Head to toe, on the floor, on the couch, in the bed with grandmother, stuff like that. Out in the cars, thought none of it. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how we, that's how we live. And you think about, nobody had no mansions, no 4, 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms, a bed for every kid. Because people like to come out and tell these stories. Man, I grew up, it was like 12 of us and we had 1 bed. Shoot, all of us did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us did. Well, not me, of course, because I only had like 2 siblings, but a lot of people can tell that story or know that story. Your kids won't say that. Just like I won't say that and my kids won't say that. But my dad could be the one to be like, hey, it was so many of us in that. And nobody thought nothing of it. Nobody thought they was poor. It's just how people live. So my question is, have we gotten too comfortable? Have we sold a bill of goods thinking that we should live a certain lifestyle when really the old lifestyle wasn't that bad? It really wasn't. Because think about it. Most kids will tell you they don't even know that they were poor growing up because everybody lived the same way. It wasn't until they got out, went to different, other people's houses, different neighborhoods, saw the world differently, and they come back and say, dang, we ain't got no money. And then it brings like a sense of depression of not understanding what's going on. But again, with that being said, have we gotten too comfortable? Could it be, look, time changes. Time comes with change, and change comes with time. Can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't stop it. Like I said, think about how you grew up, how your parents grew up, how your grandparents grew up. It's not like that anymore. But the issue is, the problem is, hold on. Was it a guy who did a speech who said something about how like the grandfather did so much work, the son did, let's say, what did it say though? The great grandfather did so much work, break his back. The grandfather did a little less work. The father did a little less work, and the son doing like no work. No, so the grandson doing no work, to the point that it's going to rotate. What did it say? The dad. I said the dad. Okay, so what did it say? The granddaddy walked. The dad rode a horse. The son drove a Mercedes, and then the grandson is back walking. So it's like it's a cycle. Basically, what I'm trying to get to, it's a cycle, and unfortunately, it's a good possibility we may be in the middle of that cycle, coming to that cycle to where things are going to have to start over, get back to people going to have to work 2-3 jobs to survive, going to have to bust their tail, get off their shoulders, get out of that, not a white collar, blue, whatever you want to call it, behind the desk jobs, and get out here and hustle and bustle, get 2 or 3 jobs. I make a fairly decent amount of money. I do. But I also, from time to time, pick up some work to make some extra money because of some things I want, or maybe some things I need to do, whatever the case may be. When I really don't really have to, but as time goes on and this inflation goes up, the shrinkflation, where you're paying the same amount of price, same amount for 20% less product, or you're paying 30% more in groceries. People who were making $75,000, $100,000, $120,000 got to go get and was doing good before 2019, was like, had dreams like, hey, we're going to get this house. We're going to work overtime, pay a bunch of stuff off for about 5-6 years. And then after that, we're going to just, sit back and, work, put everything on cruise control, and just do what we do for the rest of our life. And then that whole 2019 thing happened. And it changed and thwarted a lot of plans, to where people who were making a damn good, decent amount of money had to go out and get 2 jobs because prices were higher. But it takes me back to the story I said about when I was working in a warehouse, sitting outside all my co-workers. We out here just chilling on break or getting ready to go to work or whatever. And one of the supervisors come out and just try to be funny and said, man, it's a lot of new cars out here in the parking lot. I hope everybody's not living off that overtime. And I sat there and said, I listened to what he said. I'm like, that dude is serious. Let me go and check. Let me go and check my money for real. So I made it to where I rebudgeted everything to make sure that I could live off of my salary. And it came to the point to where that I was the only person, that I knew of, that monetarily didn't want to do the overtime. Even when they said that is mandatory, I'm like, well, how can we make this not mandatory? And they said, okay, well, we got to do this at a third. I said, okay, I'll give you 2 weeks. I'll do overtime for 2 weeks. Then we'll revisit this in 2 weeks and see if it's mandatory. And I kid you not, once that 2 weeks was up, it went from mandatory to volunteer, and I was out the door. Everybody else was staying. Well, most people were staying, but I'm out the door because hey, I did what I had to do to knock all this work out. Because I wasn't trying to live on I wasn't gonna live on overtime. Overtime was extra money for me to play with, to save. Not to live off of. Hell, even when I would take days off, we had like 1 or 2 weeks of vacation. That's it. Once I took my 2-week vacation, hey, if I want to take, hey, I need to take a week off. You ain't got no vacation, I need to take a week off. Okay, man, I know what I got. And I would take it. Then when I quit, there was the supervisor like, man, I always wonder how you the only person that didn't want to work overtime and you could take days off and wasn't making no money. That's the thing I'm talking about, keeping people out your pocket. Because people know how much they pay you. They know how you living. They know the statistics. They know all this. They don't just hire you for you to come to the job because they're gonna make sure you ain't making more money than them. Ain't no way in hell, but then they entice you with a little overtime. You get that little extra money in your check. Oh man, I need to keep doing it. This is nice. And that's how they make you work and bust your tail and break your back. No, that's not how it's supposed to go. When I sit there and circumvent and thwarted the system, they was watching me. Didn't know how much until, like I said, I was leaving and the man sat there and told me. He wanted like, how would you able to do that, man? Hey, that's my business. That's my business. But again, so the point is, like I said, are we too comfortable? Are we getting to a point to where it's about to be a reset? I already like it's about to be another world war here soon. But are we in the middle of a reset? Like people all talk about this reset, but when they say reset, it ain't just words. This is like actions. Like, yeah, you're going to be working 2 jobs and you're going to be barely making it. You're going to have 5, 6 kids, 8 kids, and y'all going to be living in a 2-3 bedroom house. My house looks nice now, but you think about the houses that your parents and grandparents grew up in. Those houses looked nice too back then. They just got old. Ain't been upkept. My grandmother, I can say my great grandfather's house, but my grandmother's house, or the house my dad grew up in, we go out there from time to time still, because it got land out there. You can see the roof is falling in on that. And it patch it up every now and then, but that house is going to have to go eventually. Most of the houses down there, down home are gone. Tore down, fell down, and just woods and stuff now. It's going to have, that house is going to eventually going to have to be knocked down, and if, and something else built in its place. That's just how life goes, man. And the problem is a lot of times we don't want to be part of the transition. We want things to already be, and this is where the problem is. We want things to already be ready made for us so we can just walk on in. That's what your problem is with these, like they say, when these women want these high value men. Guy got to be making a certain amount of money. Sending a woman $30 for lunch is frowned upon by these gold digging, incompetent, ignorant females who put this crap out. You don't know how detrimental that is. Saying crap like that, saying $30 ain't enough. $30 is perfect. Send me $30 for lunch. I'll eat for 2-3 days. Send me 35, because you know what? Because pizza, right? If I get like a veggie pizza, let's say it's like $24, $25. Send me $30. I use that to give $30 and use it for a tip. That pizza, large pizza, veggie pizza, I would eat on that for at least, I can eat on that for at least 2-3 days. 2-3 meals easy every day. Because I'm going to add a fruit to it. So I might add some, send some tortilla chips to it, whatever. But you got some of these kids get a pizza and they eat the whole dang on thing in one setting. Like, dude, what you going to eat tomorrow? But you got apples, you got fruit, you got little, whatever, chips, whatever the case may be. Why don't you split it up? A slice here, some chips, a cookie, drink. You can eat this damn pizza. You can doggone pizza for like lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner tomorrow. But no, you eat it all but kids don't understand, but it's all right. But again, we get stuck in that. But again, like I say, most people want this ready-made life, and that's not how life really is. You got to build something. Then people build something, they get mad and upset because they had to build something. So they're like, I had to build this, so this is all for me. But yet they want what you built for them. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Let's see, what else? Could we got too comfortable? And you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's pretty much on that story. Oh, and another thing I want to touch on is What did he say? Because I don't really want to feel, but Joe Biden. They talking about the polls saying that, his ratings are down, which they should be. Like I said, I don't know nobody who they say his approval ratings for the economy are at 34% and inflation at 29%. I don't see how he got any percent because I don't know anybody. I want to know who they poll and where they poll him at. Because like I said, if he asked me, I was like, hell no. 0-0 is without negative if we could. And then he talks about Trump going through the trials and, basically we all know that why that was done. All these charges are made so Trump couldn't campaign. Here's a funny thing. You got all this money. Let me see. Hold on, because there's a part I wanted to see. There's a part that if I could see where it said, here we go. He said Biden's reelection team has touted their massive fundraising numbers and on the ground operation in battleground states. They also point out Trump is required to be in New York for the trial. So they already know this is set up for him to fail. Quote, by the end of this month, we will have at least 200 officers and 500 staff, said Dan Kananen, director of battleground states for the campaign, in a briefing with reporters on Tuesday. It said the Trump campaign has virtually no presence in most of the battleground states. If they decide to do any organizing work at all, they will almost certainly be forced to rely on expensive and last-minute tactics with folks who have never set foot in the community in which they're knocking doors. So like I say, this is a whole tactic. We see what's going on. This is why people will vote for Trump, because they see the dirty deeds. Well, you remember, what's the name? Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton? How a lot of people was backing Bernie Sanders, and the Democrats made sure Bernie Sanders didn't make the ticket because they wanted Hillary Clinton. Even if Bernie Sanders was a better choice and would probably become president or give whoever was running against, but they thought she was gonna beat Donald Trump. But even Bill Clinton told his wife she wasn't gonna beat Donald Trump because she's going about it all the wrong way. But anyway, so they setting him up. But here's a funny thing. Where is this at? This article here from USA Today a couple of days ago say Trump leads Biden in 5 key swing states as voters worry about economy and Israel-Hamas war, says the poll. It says this dude is in a head-to-head matchup. Donald Trump is leading by 7 points in Arizona, 10 points in Georgia, 7 points in Michigan, 12 points in Nevada, and 3 points in Pennsylvania. And in Texas, Biden ain't got no pool. So how in the hell are you losing and you setting this man up for failure? You see what I'm saying? But let Biden tell it the polls are not true. But anyway, man, let me get up off this story because I could go on this for days. But so I want you to tell me what you think about this story. Let's have a conversation. Leave your comments below. Let's dialogue. Let's do it. Also, support the channel. 4 ways you can support the channel: like, share, comment, and subscribe. Cost you not a dime. Maybe just a couple of minutes out your life, out your day. Helps boost the channel and the videos and the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? To help me create better content, this, that, and the third. If you do want to support monetarily, you can you can do super chat, super thanks. And you can click the links in the description box, and there are links there where you can help support the channel too. But however you do it, monetarily, non-monetarily, hey, I thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, I take it all. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.